And I think a lot of communities that we see out there, they have built their positioning in such a way that first they have onboarded test users, define the solution, then get it right, and then enabling the same audience to take to the next level.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, so we can
Can
get
you give
into
an
kind of,
example of a couple of companies who act, which actually have done it well, and their competitors also who couldn't even think of it?
yeah, yeah, sure thing. I think in the kind of the early phases, so like the content and kind of movement phase, I think the Flip My Funnel community is a kind of a great example. So that was created by a company called Terminus for the establishment of the account-based marketing category. Um, so the Flip My Funnel was actually kind of like a series of regional conferences and the daily podcast. And yeah, it was enabling kind of people to kind of come together, discuss some of what they saw as the kind of the failings of this kind of like broad-based kind of marketing approach. And so they were kind of rallying around these kind of new concepts around that were forming around what became account-based marketing. What was unique about it and what their competitors kind of were doing is that they actually made it vendor agnostic. So they actually brought their competitors in on the conference. They became the speakers, they became the sponsors. It wasn't really about Terminus at all. It was about purely focusing on kind of establishing the category. And from that respect, you can kind of think of it more as a community of practice. And so it's all about the kind of the content and the discussions being the essential kind of building blocks to create the Terminus product and establish kind of the ABM kind of category. So yeah, so I really like that one for those kind of early phases. For examples for later phases, so this is more when you're kind of establishing the category and then kind of defending it. There are kind of tons of examples here like HubSpot, Atlassian, Salesforce. One which I really like is kind of UiPath. So they created the RPA category, so robotic process automation. And what they did was they made kind of two kind of really interesting moves in their space. It's a very kind of enterprise kind of focused space. So one, they had a kind of a free version of their product, which is kind of unheard of. It's like kind of enterprise kind of focus. And then they kind of built UiPath Academy around it to kind of train people on their kind of platform and also to kind of create this new kind of career of being the kind of an RPA developer. And what that did was it brought this kind of influx of hundreds of thousands of people kind of into the space. Was really kind of successful for them. But again, they had this kind of all this energy and this kind of skill set, and they kind of know where to take it. So then they started to form a community around both their kind of product and the kind of education platform, which enabled them people to share knowledge, help each other kind of develop their skills, and that's kind of really helped to sustain and kind of give substance to the kind of RPA kind of category kind of overall. And then they've since kind of layered in a number of kind of programs to kind of take that to the next level. So they have kind of extensive kind of academic alliances, working with universities and kind of students, creating, making the kind of RPA developer a viable career path for people kind of moving kind of into the industry. And then they also have things like, repository of kind of use cases and a community kind of job board. And that's enabled them to not only kind of reduce the support costs around their platform, but also then turn what was kind of a bit of a marketing kind of buzzword in around RPA and actually kind of give it substance and substantiate it and sustain kind of the interest around their platform. And that's what kind of propelled them through to kind of leadership status within the kind of the RPA category. And now they're, kind of are always at the top of these, Forrester Wave and another kind of like analyst kind of reports as well. You then see businesses like Atlassian and Salesforce having kind of like an open marketplace, around their kind of platform that enables both kind of developers there, which they support with community through events and a forum. It brings on kind of partners. The partners are often kind of key members of that community, kind of helping people to kind of create great solutions with that product, but also then becomes kind of a useful kind of lead gen source for them kind of to sustain the business and start to form this kind of ecosystem around the platform. And then you see organizations like kind of Salesforce running kind of career fairs and really enabling organizations to kind of find the talent that they need in order to kind of make a long-term substantial kind of investment into kind of a particular platform and sustain that too.